Well, April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and there is a common misconception that only certain professionals have legal duty to report suspected abuse. Here to separate the facts from the fiction, as well as answers to your questions, is Live at 5's family attorney, Sonia Kaufman. So child abuse, everyone should report child abuse?
Not just should, everyone has a legal duty to report. There are some people who think that just certain professionals, such as doctors, nurses, teachers, have a duty to report, but not so. The Family Code says that anyone who reasonably believes that abuse or neglect is occurring has the duty to report that.
Okay, and with it being Child Abuse Prevention Month, I know we're trying to bring more awareness to child abuse, but what are some of the signs that people can look for?
Well, the common signs would be physical markings. That's a very common thing, but also emotional and mental abuse is something that is frequently reported. And the law does not say that you have to be able to prove abuse. You don't have to investigate it. You just have to have a reasonable belief that it's occurring, and then let the experts investigate and sort that out.
Now, will you be the one that is called to court to actually testify? I know that's probably one of the reasons some people don't want to report the abuse.
Right. That's a long way down the road in the process, because usually the reporter is anonymous. Sometimes the cases are closed administratively even without an investigation. But if the case proceeds to court, then that person may be called to testify.
And what's the best phone number to call?
There's an 800 number, 800-252-9400, or someone can report suspected abuse online.
Okay, and we've got lots of questions, so let's get right to those. If a biological parent signs their rights away, can they come back years later to get their rights back?
Not if they're properly terminated. If there's some legal impediment to the proper termination of those rights, maybe, but generally no.
Okay. My children are 6 and 8. They've said to me, Mommy, I don't want to go with Daddy or grandmother. At what age can they make that choice? I know we get this question over and over again, but it's a popular choice.
Families struggle with that. The misconception is that a child gets to decide at age 12 where they want to live. And as we've talked about, at age 12 a child has the right to be heard by the judge, but the child never gets to decide that. It's always in the best interest of the child according to the court's decision.
So it's always the court's decision,
yes,
never the child's decision.
Never entirely the child's decision, but obviously the child's preference or opinion has a lot of weight with the court, but we don't let children decide those things. Those are in the best interest determined by the court.
Okay. Another question. My kid's father is ordered to pay $527 in child support. Of course, with all the back child support, it's supposed to be $900. Can he still be held in contempt since he's only paying $17 to $75 every 2 weeks?
Yes, not following the court's order could be a contempt finding. I would say work with the Attorney General's office and try to get that set for hearing and sort that out.
Okay, another question. Is it against the law to let your 7-year-old children roam the streets of Nederland and Port Neches?
I don't know that it's against the law, but it sure may be evidence of neglect to let 7-year-olds roam unsupervised, and the parents could be held liable for any property damage that the children cause. So something to think about. Okay.
What does the possession of the 9 to 10 of the law really mean? 9/10 of the law really mean?
I guess that's an old saying that we've always heard, that possession is 9/10 of the law, meaning if someone has it, then the duty's on someone else to take it away.
Right.
But it's certainly not a legal principle per se.
Okay, Sonia, as always, we appreciate you stopping by, and if you've got a question, you can always email those questions, or you can post those questions on our KFTM News Facebook page. And coming up next on Live at 5, Greg joins us with a look at your forecast.